Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host, Gershwan, and today we're going to be talking about what the Ultramarines are doing lore-wise in the Indomitus box set, and what the battle with the Necrons is all about. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day. If you have any suggestions, let me know what they are in the comment section below. And if you enjoy our content, thank our patrons on Patreon. It is because of them that we can do this. Link in the description if you guys want to support us. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts on the Ultramarines. As time went on, the blackness of the Noctis Aeterna weakened. At Terra and other locations, the Indomitus Crusade gathered, an assemblage of war the likes of which had not been seen for millennia. Fleets of warships pushed out into humanity's realm, the warriors within hailing from countless worlds. Amongst the greatest of these were the Ultramarines. Were they not the scions of Guilliman, Lord Commander of the Imperium, the Ultramarines' authority would still be solidified 10 times over amongst the Indomitus Crusade battle groups of Fleet Primus. The skill and strength of these noble Space Marines are legendary. For 10,000 Terran years, they have upheld the inflexible code of honor and strict adherence to martial discipline. The Ultramarines are lauded amongst the superhuman champions of humanity as exemplars of everything that the warriors of the Adeptus Astartes aspire to be. The Ultramarines comprise the leading elements of Battlegroup Calidus Task Force. The chapter's warriors have already led dozens of engagements during the battlegroup's course throughout the Ultima Segmentum, supported by regiments of the Astra Militarum Soldiery, commanderies of the Adeptus Sororitas, and allied forces of other Space Marine chapters. As the decree of the Group Master Moran, the battle group's primary deployment was to the Nephilim sector. Disturbing reports had reached out from the Nephilim surrounding sectors, and these were likely only a fraction of the messages sent out, many being lost in the churning immaterial disruptions. Conflicting accounts of unidentified attackers were intercepted with tales of spreading entropy, which the Imperium was classifying as the Pariah Nexus. Though the Astronomicon was being felt once more, there were reports that this area was becalmed. The stronger the Emperor's beacon flared, the more unsettling became the contrast. As the battle group approached the northwestern frontier of the Nephilim sector, Group Master Moran's captains reported a calming of the warp storm. For the ship's navigators, it came as a welcome reprieve from the task of negotiating the roiling currents, yet it soon proved even more dangerous. The further into the sector the ships forged, the more difficult it became to navigate. Currents and swells faded into insubstantial eddies, and warp engines required more and more power to make headway. Among the battle group's objective was the valuable mining world of Vertigus II. The planet had been silent for the past 3 tide cycles. If its rulers thought it was okay to ignore their imperial responsibilities, their error would be made plain to them. The need for their mineral resources was all the more desperate after uprisings and psychic calamities claimed other mining worlds in the Segmentum. The Task Force 3 was formed to determine the cause of the planet's silence. Many of the Ultramarines' veteran warriors had been afforded the high honor of bearing ancient relics of the chapter, and they probably formed the vanguard of the Task Force's mission's drop. The Ultramarines received no response to their repeated voxhails, and though the Task Force ships scanned the system, no sign of any craft, Imperial or otherwise, was detected. The Ultramarines and their allies made planetfall at multiple points across the planet's primary landmass. Upon the surface, the captain of the Ultramarine force coordinated sweeps of the mining communes from their capital of Montalinus. The Space Marines found no trace of the planet's millions of inhabitants, merely an oppressive silence at each commune. The Ultramarines were conditioned not to feel fear, but they became enshrouded with a pervasive sense of unease, while ghost returns befouled their Auspex scanners. They found obvious signs of strife, las burns and craters from high explosive shells. Streaks of disintegrated matter and razor-edged gouges in solid rock told the experienced commander what manner of foe had been here, and he ordered increased vigilance. Yet battle damage was not everywhere, and the Ultramarines noted indicators of sudden abandonment. Brass-keyed ordinators, crystal-flecked screens blinking lethargically, sat before long rotten and half-eaten rations. Amid heightened tension, reconnaissance of the fringes of each commune revealed soaring obelisks of black rock. Suddenly, solid contact signals sprang up in every quadrant. From pools of shimmering air, like the heat haze, there lurched skeletal forms of metal, beams of energy spearing from their heavy rifles, while out of the mineshaft clambered talon-limbed aberrations that spanned towards the Space Marines. From the sky, clouds of glittering wing cases heralded a swarm of metallic constructs descending to feed. Ultramarine squads reacted instantly, reforming and firing into the advancing Necrons. They closed in with the Xeno attackers, determined to drive them from this world. The Battle of Vertigus had reignited. Commanding the Space Marines in the operations around the planet was the Primaris Captain, a grizzled veteran of countless conflict. He is an exceptional tactical strategist, as capable of coordinating the multiple theater invasion of an entire system, as of personally leading an elite kill team just for a handful of warriors. The Captain leads from the front, his personal combat prowess an inspiration to his battle brothers, as he cleaves apart the Imperium's enemies with his artificer-crafted power blade. The Primaris Lieutenant from the Captain's company acts as his second-in-command, providing his commander with tactical flexibility. The Lieutenant helps to direct the elite squads of Space Marines into precision applications of both their augmented strength and brutally efficient weaponry. The Captain is also called upon the Blackguard members of the chapter's Reclusium. The Judicar and the company's Primaris Chaplain bolsters their battle brother spirits with litanies of battle, declaiming the foulness of their foes. The Chaplain does so with bombastic rhetoric and shouted oaths, driving those he faces to their knees with savage swings of a sanctified Crozius Arcanum. By contrast, the Judicar exacts silence and just vengeance upon those who dare oppose them. His every executing blow is carefully measured to extol the chapter's creed, stirring squads of Space Marines to greater heights of valor. And the mailed fist at the heart of the Captain's strike force are the Assault Intercessors, whose shock assaults eviscerate and crush their enemies. Those brave enough to face down the charge of a squad of Assault Intercessors rarely survive the thunderous impact of genetically augmented muscles and heavy slabs of dense ceramite plating. The Space Marines follow this up with sweeps of their chainswords, the blades' razor-sharp teeth churning, and the bark of mass-reaction bolts from their heavy pistols. With their foes in ruins, their sergeants relay the Captain's orders, and without pause, they head swiftly onto the next target. Assault Intercessors secure tactical objectives in bursts of lethal activity, taking and holding ground or forging deep into enemy-held territory. On duty behind enemy lines, the Outriders secure their brothers' flanks, ranging ahead as vanguards to intercept the foe's own reconnaissance assets. Far surpassing such opposing units in their offensive capabilities, Outriders punch through the scouting screens like a lance. When fighting with the Captain's primary thrust, they maintain his strategic control of the battlesphere, forming a rapid reaction force that the Captain dispatches to eliminate emergent threats, or to gain data on those so powerful and dangerous that even the Outriders' weapons required aid. These are the chosen targets of the Eradicators, who are tasked by the Captain with scouring the toughest of enemies from the face of the planet with their incandescent beams of their Melta rifles. They brave the firestorm of the front lines, turning high-priority adversaries into piles of molten slag and crushing the ashen remains of lesser foes underfoot. Battle-scarred and disciplined warriors, the veterans and the ancient, honored with blade guard roles, prove to their battle brothers their skill and devotion to duty in every conflict. They commit to the guardianship of their company's honor and fight at the heart of the Captain's maneuvers, letting friend and foe alike bear witness to their stoic resolve. When the ancient plants his standard and the veterans lock their shields, few fighting forces in the galaxy can break them. And those were 40 facts on the Ultramarines' attack of the Pariah Nexus. I guess I should say the defense, though, because the Ultramarines actually defended the Pariah Nexus. It was the Necrons who attacked, and then the Ultramarines came in to defend that location. If you guys want to get the other side of the lore, the Necron side of the lore, I'll put a link up at the top of this video. That's going to take you over to the Necron lore portion of this whole Indomitus box set goodness. If you haven't picked up the Indomitus box set, I really recommend you do. It's worth it. It's awesome. A lot of hobby stores actually have some in stock. I know you can't get it online, but you can go to your local hobby store, and odds are they might have one or two. Everything was kind of crazy with the Indomitus box set. I feel like people overreacted, and a lot of people were just lazy and didn't want to go to the store and get the pre-orders and whatnot. But yeah, if not, we are doing a giveaway at the end of this week, so stay tuned for that. I don't know which video is going to be on, but we are going to be doing a giveaway because we did manage to find a store that had a bunch of Indomitus box sets. So we bought a couple and we're going to be giving them away, so stay tuned. If you guys want more lore on the Space Marines, I'll put a link up at the top of this video. If you ever wondered, can Space Marines have sex? Can they have children? I'll put a link up at the top of this video if you want to learn about cool-ass successor chapters to give you inspiration when you're building your homebrew chapter. I'll put a link up at the top of this video for that as well. And then if you don't know what a homebrew chapter is and you want to learn how to create your own homebrew chapter because you bought some Primaris Marines, I'll put a link to that video as well. If you have any questions, any requests, comment down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation. I knew I never had that much to lose.